and thought of your memories will catch up with me. Oh, will catch up with me. The me I kind of screwed up on, but
no, you said that sounds great. You did really good.
Okay, cool, thanks. Yeah, because
I mean, no. It kind of sounds like his chuckle at the end, almost like, "Hey, you sound great." It almost sounds like he's almost negating what he said earlier by the chuckle at the end. But I don't think that the student felt that way. Run, run, lost boy, they say to me. Hey guys, it's Adam Mishan, singer-songwriter and vocal coach. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be talking about another vocal coach. So a lot of you might know who Tristan Paredes is. He is a vocal coach that has probably risen to be one of the most popular on YouTube. He's had a really interesting journey on YouTube. A lot of the videos that he started off with are no longer available on YouTube, but if you have kind of watched his progression as he went, he kind of started off by critiquing and really tearing apart different vocal coaches and trying to create a lot of controversy in the vocal coach world. And a lot of that didn't get him the recognition that he was looking for because, most people don't care about, vocal coach politics. And so he quickly abandoned that and actually switched over to something. He kept on experimenting. I think that that's one of the things that I really look up to him for, is that he really wanted to succeed on this platform, and he tried to experiment and experiment until he found a formula that worked. So on his channel, one of the videos that's still up there is a full lesson of him with one of his students. And I thought it would be really, really cool to take a look at his teaching approach, because there's only so much you can glean from a reaction video. But here you get to take a look at his teaching approach and get my commentary on his approach to teaching, some of the underpinnings of the things that he's teaching this student as he goes that he doesn't necessarily make so clear as he's giving this lesson. So let's take a look. And there's been some silence on his channel for the past 3 months, so I don't know what's going on with him, but I hope everything is all right.
So I'll go with the first verse here. So I'll just go for it. Run away and play your games.
Sorry. Be sure it's the right pitch.
Oh, okay.
You're on the right pitches. Because otherwise you might get to the...
So you see there, Tristan cut him off pretty quick. At first when I was watching this, I didn't really realize why he was cutting him off. It kind of sounded like he was cutting him off because it was sounding bad, but then, once you realize why he's cutting him off, he doesn't want him to start too high. So that's why he says watch the pitches, not necessarily that he's off pitch per se, but that he might be starting a little too high in his range, and then when it comes to the chorus, he didn't want him to be in a trouble spot. So that's why he stopped him so quickly. So if you find that you have difficulty singing in tune, or you find that you often go off pitch, and pitch is really an issue for you, then click the link down below. I've got a course made just for you called Stop Being Tone Deaf.
Chorus or something, and it'll be like, oh my god.
It'll be way off.
Yeah,
I'll listen to the song here and make sure.
Sure. You were on the right pitch.
Oh.
Alright, so it turns out Tristan was wrong. His memory for the song wasn't as good as his students. And that can often be the case because, the student knows the song very well, and often, there's too many songs that my students go through that I don't even know how they go and what, but it doesn't affect your ability to teach them what they should do, because the basic underpinnings of how to learn a song apply to any song.
Perfect.
Yeah.
My memory's decent at least.
That's good.
Okay, I'll go for this first verse here. Okay. Run away and play your games.
Okay, so first off, I would be talking to him a little bit about the strain in his face. So do you guys see how his face is kind of scrunching up as he's singing that song? The face is a perfect projection of what's going on in the throat. So if the face is starting to tense, the throat is most likely tensing along with it. So this is an amazing lesson for you guys. If you're noticing, and this is why it's so crucial to sing in front of a mirror or in front of someone so they can kind of give you commentary. That's one of the first things that I pick up on my students, and I'll say, hey, your face is scrunching, chill out. Relax your face, try it again. And you can actually hear that his throat tension is very much in sync with the amount of tension there is on his face. So as his face relaxes, his voice relaxes too. So getting rid of that facial tension would be step number 1 for me.
Well, so I can find you. I will wait.
So you see how as he's coming down in his range, his face relaxes. So that's telling you up on the top, his muscles are engaging in the wrong way. And then as he's coming down, those muscles relax. And so his face relaxes as well. It's amazing that we have this kind of, it's a looking glass into what's going on in the throat, because you can't see the wrong muscles engaging in the throat. Although sometimes as he's doing it, you can actually see the strap muscles in his throat engaging. But there it's not as obvious, whereas facial tension is extremely obvious.
For summer to come, then laugh as the trees burn down around you.
And you see how sometimes his body's cringing like that. That sort of tension is neck tension, is straight up neck tension. So getting rid of that, getting him to move his head a little bit more, getting some movement involved to get those muscles shut off. We got to get those muscles shut off.
It was just a test for me.
Yeah, a test for, like, you can't get much more tension than that. And you can see that there's not a lot of volume coming out. And because of that, he's probably, in his mind, he's thinking, like, I am projecting, I'm pushing, like, a lot of volume. And I remember when I was first starting to sing, my voice felt like I was going as loud as I possibly could because I was going full throttle, but I was actually working against myself. It was almost like I was pressing the brakes and the gas full blown at the same time. So if you're in a car and you're pressing the gas and the brakes both at the same time, you're not going to go very far very fast, right? But it feels like you're giving it your all, right? And that engine's going to be revving like crazy, but you're not actually going anywhere. You're just kind of spinning your wheels. So that's kind of what he's experiencing right now, is that he's feeling like he's projecting so much, but then he's got the brakes also, which is those strain muscles that are coming in and closing off the sound.
And thought of your memories will catch up with me. Oh, will catch up with me. The me I kind of screwed up on, but...
No, you said that sounds great. You did really good.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Yeah, because
I mean, it kind of sounds like his chuckle at the end, almost like, hey, you sound great. It almost sounds like he's almost negating what he said earlier by the chuckle at the end. But I don't think that the student felt that way. But and I don't think Tristan actually feels that way. But it's just so interesting how he interacts with his students. Never seen this before.
Last week when I was first doing it, it was more mouthy and a little more... I think, yeah.
Yeah, you did great. No, that was really, really good. That's a huge change. That was just a week, right?
Yep.
That's really good, man. Good job.
Oh, thanks. I've been practicing, like, that's the main section I've been
I love his chuckles, like, in between his compliments.
Working on, because it sounded like the most off compared to the actual song.
Totally.
But... yeah, I think I've got it a little bit closer now.
Yeah,
Still needs work, but...
that was really good.
Cool, thanks. I'll go for the chorus here.
Cool.
Okay, so it seems like they've had a couple lessons together, because Tristan is waiting for the student to actually do something else. So obviously it seems to be implicitly expected that he's going to continue on, because it doesn't seem like there's much direction as far as what Tristan is, like, telling him, like, hey, now try this part, or don't try it. It's like, okay, he's just kind of waiting. Go for it.
I'm always late with my work.
So do you see those muscles? Do you see this muscle engaging very strongly? This is the sternocleidomastoid. It has no business being involved in sound production. He's got to release that tension. That is way too much choking him down. And you could see it in his face, right? You could see that tension sitting there in his face.
Words I should have told you, but I never really cared.
That's not bad. I think that I'm always was quieter in the original song.
Okay. It's a little
Yeah, just
Okay, so there Tristan is probably going to try to get him to approach it from a quieter spot. Whenever you're approaching higher notes from a quieter spot, it's going to reduce some of the tension. And I think that that's part of the intention behind asking him to bring down the volume, is that, okay, we're going to reduce some of the tension involved in singing that higher part.
quieter approach.
Can you go Put it all in your nose. Let's try this, actually. These would be good exercises for you to work on. Can you go?
And so there you can hear a clear difference. This is where having a coach is so crucial, because the student is hearing Tristan do it and then saying, okay, I'm going to do, like that's how he's approaching it. Whereas Tristan's going, very nasal, like heavy, forward, So finding that really light placement is what he's trying to do. And his student is going from pulling up from the bottom and going very mouth heavy. So if you didn't have Tristan there, he would never be able to approximate that sound if he was just hearing how he should be approaching it, because just hearing it is not enough for him. He's got to be told exactly how to produce that sound.
Yeah.
And the era of that one, it was still just a little bit too mouth heavy, but he's getting closer to it. Another thing is he's thinking of grabbing onto it a little bit too much with his muscles. He's thinking of chord closure, whereas Tristan is totally released, totally in falsetto as much as possible.
Yeah. And if you are confused about how to get to that, I always think of like a crow sound.
Okay.
I actually did that today. There's a,
There, he's getting a little closer to it. So that crow sound, just as a point of imagery, helped him to get closer to the sound that he's looking for.
Going to the store and there was a crow trying to eat a candy bar in a wrapper, and I was like,
Yep.
I chased it away and I opened the wrapper and it was like looking at me and I was like, and then I threw the whatever.
What a wonderful anecdote. I love it. I guess Tristan didn't learn don't pick up garbage off the floor, and that he can talk to crows. That's really where vocal coaches get down to, is that we start to just make random weird sounds in everyday life when we're analyzing, oh, what's that sound? How's that sound produced? Oh, how? Because the more you learn about the voice, the more you're learning about sound production and how it's produced and how to get good sounds in your voice. So he hears a crow like, and so he's like, like trying to like mimic it. And so that is definitely a characteristic of us vocal coaches.
But yeah, that crow sound is good.
But you see how it releases? He's finding it from that very falsetto placement. You see how it finds that very like nasal flow.
Okay.
Whereas he has much more of a chest approach, much more of a mouth-heavy approach as he's doing it.
Good. Yeah. And then, what are the pitches? You might even know them.
I'm always late with my words.